Yo, welcome back. Thank you for staying tuned. Good morning from Washington. So it's been about 2 days now since we sprayed all the stuff. It's had time to sit in the IR heat lamp just to fully cure, and so we should be able to get ready to cut and buff it. I'm gonna show you real quick. So we used the Tamco's 4100 clear. It's shiny. You know, everybody loves it. I like it for the price, but it pinches back. Pinches back as in it leaves a small fine texture, almost like a dye back. Slight. Enough for me to notice it, but I ain't complaining. The price is good. I prefer Sherwin-Williams clear. That's my all-time. I've been spraying that for a long time. But yeah, after it dried up completely, you can see all those small fine dust. Really small one, not dirt like the sunroof was all dirty chunks. Here's a small chunk right here. But yeah, it's not so bad. I am actually going to hit it with just 2000, just really quick on the whole thing, skim it. Not going to flatten it out like I usually do on these higher end cars that we do. We'll knock it out with 800, 1000, 1200, you know, so on. So it's a big old step forward in refining. This is just going to be straightforward. 2000, maybe hit some 1500 on some of the chunks if there is any chunks on it, and buff it out and give it to the customer, and we can get on with the next part of the process. So stay tuned. It's going to be a real short video, nothing special, so stay tuned. So let's get started. I think for this process, I said I was gonna go wet sand, but I think I changed my mind. I'm gonna use my DA sander, my electric one. It's got a little small throw. I already explained in the other videos. I'm too lazy to turn the compressor on right now. I only got a few hours before I gotta go work. So I'm actually gonna hit it with 2000 on the DA, just to highlight all the areas that might need some attention, dust, whatever. Then I'm gonna finish off with wet sanding. My reasoning for that is when you dry sand, it's dry and you can see what you sanded, and you can see what's left behind, like say maybe a dust. It'll stick out like a sore thumb. If you wet sand, you can't see nothing. Everything just looks wet. It makes more sense to wet sand because it finesses and finishes a lot better, and you save sandpaper. That's the #1 reason why people do that too, you know. But I'm gonna dry sand it, then wet sand it. Let's just get at that right now. Just now, I just did a little small test area just to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about with the dry sanding. I'm gonna turn the camera around and check this out. So the reason dry sanding is good in a way, because you can actually see the areas that you have to focus and concentrate more of a sanding block area. You know, we could denib these with a little block by hand. But yeah, it just shows all the areas that pop up, little dust specks. So if you were to do a wet sanding, you wouldn't even see those marks because you would have to constantly wipe all the water off, dry it completely, and it takes a few minutes to dry it just for those specks to show up. Compared to dry sanding, it pops up right away. Yeah, the sandpaper is like freaking way more expensive and it doesn't last long compared to wet sanding, but it makes life a little bit easier trying to locate all those little imperfections and just focusing towards them with a small block. And that's it. So that's why I'm doing that. So we're gonna get at that right now. I just wanted to show you guys what I was doing. So let's get at that right now. Alright, now we got that all sanded and refined it with 2000. So it took probably about an hour and a half to do it thoroughly and all that. Probably would have took longer for anybody else, but I got it down pretty good. Took me about an hour and a half to knock it down with 2000, and I still got to do 3000. I might do 5000. We don't need it, but I might do it. But yeah, after all said and done, just the sanding part of this and refining, it will definitely take about 2.5 hours just on the hood. And you got to polish it. You can add like another, I'd say a total of 4 hours, 4.5 hours on sanding, refining, polishing completely. About 4.5 hours. So it's a lot of work. People don't realize it, man. And on top of that, the material, just the amount of sandpapers that I used on this, it was expensive. Probably used about maybe $45 worth of sandpaper, and we're not even completely done yet. I got to use 3000, which just one of those sheets of 3000. It's like $15 per sheet, $10 to $15 per sheet, depending on what area you're from. But it's expensive. Just to let everybody know, this stuff ain't cheap. That's what Alright, all wiped down and clean with the 3000 grit. I'm gonna turn it around real quick. So there you go. It's got that little satin look. That's finished off with 3000 because you can see a slight reflection in there. But I inspected everything already and it looks pretty good. Good to go. Start polishing. So now let's get the polisher ready. For something like this, I go with the big dog right here. I'm gonna go with the wool pad for compound. So yeah, back in the days I used to hate these pads. About 17 years ago, I hated these with passion. They left a mess. Fur would be flying everywhere, little fabrics. But it cuts really well. It cuts really well, especially on wet sanding. And on some areas that we might have missed with 1500, this would hit it with compound. It would get it out. I mean, it would take some heating up, but it'd get it out. And we are gonna get at that right now. Oh, and this time around, I will be using my Meguiar's. Have a little bit just to do the hood. I like using this Pro Speed compound, the 100. It's legit, it works, and finish it off with 82 swirl free polish. So let's get at that right now. Alright, it's looking really good. We just got it roughed up in the first stage of compound. I'm gonna turn around real quick. Bam! There you go. That's just first stage of compound. Just got one more stage of compound, which is the moderate cut. Then we're gonna throw it over with swirl remover and polish. Yeah, it looks beautiful. I am happy. Gonna get this all final polished up and deliver it to the customer. Check it out. Yeah, but enough of that. I'm gonna throw it on time lapse, get the compound, then I'm gonna do a swirl remover polish, wipe it down, and load it up in the truck and drop it off at the customer house, and probably call it a day and get ready for work. So, you know what, stay tuned. Alright, we finally got that portion of it done. It's completely polished. It looks really good. As you can see on the time lapse, it was too fast. I did a quick time lapse because I don't want to do a long ass video on polishing. It's just boring. It's just like watching paint dry, you know? So we use the big long throw to finish it all off. That long throw is amazing. It helps with the holograms, swirls really good, especially on dark cars. This is a light color, so it doesn't really matter. I can get it with the rotary, but you know, I'd like to keep my steps consistent, doing the same thing on every job. But yeah, check it out. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. Cut down and polished like a diamond. You know, when you first get a diamond, it looks like shit until it's been cut down, grinded down nice and smooth, and polished out. That's the same concept as a clear coat and all that. But look at it, man. It is beautiful, and we are gonna drop it off right now. So yeah, Little Cita, we headed your way right now. We're gonna drop off this hood. Gotta get ready for work. Stay tuned. Since we are all done with our hood, we are on the way dropping off that hood. Gotta make some room in the shop so we ain't got a bunch of painted parts sitting around, you know, waiting to get scratched or whatnot. So we're just gonna drop that off right now. Almost there. So the contractors came this morning and they said they'll be done with the shop before summertime for sure. That's the time frame, and I'm fine with that. That's more than perfect. So, we're actually here right now. Hopefully he opens the door. I'm gonna reverse. So we at the customer's house right now. His daughter just opened the door for me, and he's sleeping right now. He works graveyard shift. So I'm gonna turn this camera around. Yep, the car's been sitting in his garage. I'm thinking about taking it back pretty soon because the contractors won't be started probably for the next few weeks, and maybe I'm thinking about I can actually get the CRX into paint or prepped into paint. So thank you for staying tuned and actually watching this video. I made it really short and simple so that way it ain't just too boring. So thank you for watching. I hope you guys have a good one, and catch you guys later.